Magic is who you are. It's the current of energy you carry. It's the feeling you generate in ritual that makes the practice profound. Ceremonies like the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram are dynamic meditations that help you feel into the current of magic already flowing through you. Without the spirit of, whoa, I'm actually performing magic right now, all these ceremonies fall short of what they could be. Practicing these ceremonies dozens of times, hundreds of times, thousands of times is the ultimate key to feeling the magic. Ritual practice is the master key. Enthusiasm, the secret sauce. Having said that, and this is one of the many reasons why I love magic so much, even when your energy is at half-mast, even when your energy is at no mast, the rituals and ceremonies of the Golden Dawn still work. Running a 5K has benefits whether you want to be there or not. Ceremonial magic is no different. If you drag yourself through all the steps, you're still going to benefit and grow spiritually. Discipline, it always works. You just have to do it. Discipline plus time equals results. This equation is magic in and of itself. No matter who you are or where you start, you can grow. You will grow. You are growing right now. In this video, I talk about combining yoga practices with ceremonial magic. I talk about the similarities and some of the overlapping attributes, the convergence of Eastern and Western mysticism, and how physical exercise like cardio and resistance training enhances your journey as a magician. Our physical bodies are the material vessels for the power we wield on this earth, so strengthening the physical body expands our capacity for light. As above, so below, but also as below, so above. The higher is the lower. If that doesn't make sense to you now, soon it will. Welcome to Mage Space. Many of the benefits experienced in yoga and in magic are synonymous. Yoga and magic overlap, and one could argue that they're the same thing. Yoga means union. Asana means pose. When you orient your body into a yoga asana, you are posing in union with the universe. You are doing the same thing in ceremonial magic. Kabbalah is known as the yoga of the West. In the last video, I said something along the lines of how magic is better for people with busy minds and a thirst for more, people with wild ambitions. And yoga and more basic style meditations are better for people seeking joy and inner peace. Let's expand and bring clarity to this statement as we discuss the importance of yoga. Busy minds and a thirst for more. Being busy and thirsty are not virtuous states. They are states of lack. There's no nobility in being an overachiever. But some of us chose to incarnate with a mindset that's always looking to do more. How many things can I get done today? What am I missing? How can I do better? Focusing on one thing, stillness, emptying the mind. These types of meditations are simple, yet profound. If you're a person who's just looking to chill in a natural way, when I say that you're more likely to find what you're looking for through basic style meditations, I mean that in a very positive sense, because if you're actually able to focus on one thing in a meditation, that is highly advanced. Rick Rubin is a music producer, musician, and artist. He is very successful in the music industry, but he didn't achieve his success by intellectually figuring it all out, hustling, or doing favors for archons. He achieved his success by being and doing. On a podcast I recently listened to, I think it was the Know Thyself podcast, Rick said something along the lines of, how it all works isn't the magic. The magic is it works. The magic is the beauty of everything coming together for whatever reason. Music theory is important, but sometimes there are arrangements of notes and sounds that in theory shouldn't sound good, but in reality, they do. That's magical. Rick Rubin's approach to art and music is very Eastern, and being okay with not knowing how everything works, getting out of the way and letting intuition guide your steps, that is a high spiritual state. Distance is kind of an illusion, but a quietly confident state is closer to nirvana than a noisy state of striving for more. That being said, many of us have signed up for journeys that will lead us through a multitude of dips and valleys long before reaching nirvana. Nirvana, by the way, is something you cannot experience as a physical being. If you were to reach nirvana right now, you would no longer be here. You would be one with the divine and riding on waves of bliss through unicorn gas forever. Jim Carrey has become more conscious and aware over the years, but had he started out all enlightened, he wouldn't have had the same fire to go out there and prove to the world that he was funny. He may have just been content as a painter, and we would have all been robbed of the barrel of laughs that movie The Cable Guy is. The point is that some of us want to do some dense, down and dirty things on the material plane before ascending to the highest planes of reality. Some of us want to both stumble upon secret chords that please the Lord and then figure out why they work in the cosmic grand scheme of things so well. Western-style magic is more geared towards that type of soul, more so than Eastern-style work is. I'll go a step further and say that Western-style magic is great for people who like using their intellect and thinking mind. Now the idea is to transcend the thinking mind, but for an active thinker, sometimes the best way to transcend the thinking mind is to put the thinking mind into a trance by thinking through a step-by-step process that automatically leads to transcendence. That is a ritual. If you have a good memory and recognize patterns easily, you naturally have a lot going on in your mind. This is a superpower, but only when you can control the noise. Souls oriented towards the West and souls oriented towards the East are equal in value. Neither is better or worse. It's a matter of knowing thyself and choosing practices accordingly. Many of the benefits experienced in magic and in yoga are synonymous. Yoga and magic overlap, and one could argue that they are the same thing. Yoga means union, asana means pose. When you orient your body into a yoga asana, you are posing in union with the universe. You are doing the same thing in magic. Kabbalah is known as the yoga of the West. Now, yoga has become highly saturated, watered down, and commercialized for the masses. This is positive in the sense that more people are accessing healing techniques, but negative in the sense that everything mass appeal always ends up being one or more 50 shades of shit. Having said that, if your quest is peace, joy, and being okay with the things you can't control, doing a few minutes of mainstream yoga every day will have you loving your life a lot more. There's yoga, and then there is yoga. Disciplined paths of yoga, many of which include philosophical, intellectual, and artistic pursuits. A few people commented on my last video, Victor Hugo Felix 9997. I just wanted to point out that a well-disciplined yoga practice that includes the philosophy and deep meditation on a regular basis can bring those benefits that magic brings too. I firmly believe that yoga can improve your magic practice by fundamenting some basic skills like concentration and visualization. Yes, Mr. Daniel Weir, most of those benefits sound like the kind you can get from yoga. Am I wrong? No. Tim Shaw, 1712. Unsure of Golden Dawn practice, but Raja Yoga is a key component of serious thelemic practice. Yes. Yoga and magic overlap. They are basically the same thing, approached from different angles. You will find various yoga practices woven throughout the great work of the Golden Dawn, and the asanas of yoga prepare your body for higher levels of ceremonial work. Yoga strengthens your vehicle. It expands your vessel for more capacity. The middle pillar ritual involving the Kabbalistic tree of life does the same thing. It expands your vessel for more capacity. Another reason why Kabbalah is called the yoga of the West. This is a 10-minute yoga routine called the Magick 10. Sharon Gannon is the instructor. This routine feels amazing. It melts away stiffness and loosens you up. It gets your blood flowing and allows you to breathe better. Over time, it improves your posture. Good breathing becomes automatic if your posture is primed. This routine pairs nicely with rituals. Feeling into rituals early in the morning when the body is tight can be a challenge. Breath work is a huge part of feeling the power of these rituals. The Magick 10 yoga routine establishes your breath support. It charges your oxygen intake for the whole day. A link to this video is in the description. I recommend learning, doing, and memorizing. You align with the divine in yoga. Stillness in asana is key. Your rituals will feel greater, both on a biological level and a spiritual one. An interesting book on the power of yoga is The Dark Arts of Tantric Yoga and Other Timeless Secrets by Aleister Crowley. Crowley, by the way, has a lot of valuable insights if you understand his vibe and can refrain from judging his narcissism and more beast-like moments. I think Crowley is one of the great magicians who ultimately failed due to a lack of compassion. His books are interesting, yet robotic. Frankly, I feel more empathy radiating from Siri than I do from Crowley's voice, but that doesn't have me throwing him out in the cold and dismissing his entire body of work. Let's not cancel Crowley. We are all pieces of work. We all express angels and demons. If Crowley frightens you, try coming back to him in a year when you know yourself a bit better. If you fall in love with him, same thing. I really liked this comment Marilyn B2643 made on my last video, and I think it was in reference to this statement. When I first started doing magic, I saw demons walking around. Classic demons. Horns, fangs, the works. Donald Craig, author of Modern Magic, calls them little nasties. People often see demons with claws, fangs, and horns because somewhere in the memory of our DNA, we have all been killed, torn apart, and devoured by wild animals bearing claws, fangs, and horns. Hey dude, those horned and fanged entities are exactly why we do magic, to connect with our brothers and sisters. If you still see them as separate from yourself, you've issues. Yes, the horned and fanged ones are part of our DNA. They live within us, so yes, let's become friends. The initial stages of ceremonial work bring these quote-unquote demons to the surface. At first, they're not your friends. They may taunt, frighten, and furthermore follow you around when you don't want to be followed. When you see entities walking around in that context, you are in the process of working through your karma. Once you are friends with your roots, horns and fangs stop bothering you at night. You can, of course, still choose to see them that way when you want to, in a context that benefits your experience, but they don't ambush you in classic demon form anymore, usually. I think Marilyn2643 may have misinterpreted my view on the subject based on the wording of the comment, but I agree with the ultimate point being made, and it ties in nicely with how to view characters like Crowley. Beasts aren't bad. They can be harmful when you're weak, but once you grow strong, they become necessary and valuable parts of the whole. Also, horns are just cool. Physical exercise, I'm talking cardio and resistance training now, are additional ways to stimulate dormant energy and unlock new territory. Everyone hates cardio until they don't. 30 minutes of cardio each day is a wonderful, natural antidepressant. If you run every day, bike every day, or swim every day, you'll have endorphins flowing through your body and head that you will feel. A cardio high is like a cannabis high. It starts behind the eyes with a relief of pressure. The sinus cavity starts feeling light. Every time this happens, I get a visual of an iceberg that's melting. Every breath turns up the heat. As the iceberg dissolves, water begins to flow, and this water brings nature, nurture, peace and love vibes to my mental and emotional shores. Runner's high is a weed high without the confusion. And between you and me, a little weed before a run every now and then isn't very confusing, and it amplifies the runner's high experience. Resistance training. Lift, bruh. Lifting has benefits for men and women. Testosterone is a feel-good hormone. Testosterone lives in both men and women. Lifting can increase your testosterone, and testosterone makes you smarter. Testosterone is some of the best kind of energy. It's cool, calm, and focused. An overabundance of testosterone can cause anger and aggression, but most of the ideas that surround testosterone rage are a myth. False alphas give people the wrong idea. If a high testosterone male projects rage, that rage is primarily stemming from other issues that have nothing to do with his testosterone levels. Alpha doesn't sound like this. Alpha sounds like this. The stronger your physical body, the more powerful your magic will be. This, of course, only applies when you still have a body. That is all for today. Click like if this resonates with you. Drop a comment to express your thoughts and feelings, which always lead to good conversation, and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.